Hi everyone, this is Dan from Triberr. We're going to be taking the website down for a few hours tonight for some scheduled maintenance. And I wanted to talk a little bit about what we're hoping to accomplish and why the site has been a little bit buggy these past few weeks. So about 2 weeks ago, Dino, Andres, and I went to North Carolina with our wives/girlfriends. And we had a full week off of work where we just focused on getting some big changes into Triberr. One of the big changes was we restructured our database. Now, if you have a website, you'll know that's a huge challenge. And after we did that, the site was a little off. The tribal stream wasn't loaded correctly, posts weren't sending, the site was slow. It was kind of a rough week. Anyway, first off, thank you for putting up with us during that week, and since then, I think we made a lot of progress, fixed a lot of stuff, but here's why we had to go through all that. Triberr is a very active website. We're constantly pulling in posts, we're sending them to the tribal stream, they're getting approved, we're sending them out to Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. So there's a lot of activity with that database, and every time there is a new action, the database has to pause for a split second and just process that action. And what was happening was there was so much activity, so many actions that it would actually pause for a couple of seconds at a time, and that would slow up everyone's experience on the website. So we changed the type of database that we used so that there wouldn't be that pausing, that locking of the database as we processed all this information. After that change, we started to have a lot of problems. There was really high CPU usage, which made the website run really slowly. When we started to dive into what was causing this really high CPU usage, it came down to our code. So we spent the past 2 weeks optimizing the code and trying new ways to speed up the code. And whenever you're trying new ways to speed things up or change things get buggy because you're trying new things, you're testing things out, they don't quite work right, you have to redo it. So that's why there's been a whole lot of changes and back and forth on the website. Finally, we've optimized the code pretty well, but there's still been really high CPU usage spikes. So we were talking with Rackspace, who hosts our database and our servers, and we said, what's causing all this high usage? And what they said was the type of database that you converted to needs a lot more memory of the server. And actually, it needs twice the amount of memory that we have right now. Right now we have an 8 GB database server. And when we switched over to the new database type, we found out it actually needs to be around 16 gigabytes to support the size of our database. So today we've been going through and trying to archive a lot of data and remove it from the main database so that the site runs a lot faster. But we still need to upgrade from an 8 GB database to a 16 GB database. And by upgrading to a larger server, we have more memory. And by removing some of that data and putting it in an archive, we have less data, which requires less memory. So we're hoping to both remove the amount of data, so there's less data to process, and increase the amount of memory, which is going to make a very fast website and is hopefully going to let us continue to grow for the foreseeable future. In order to resize the server, make it a bigger server with twice the amount of memory, we have to take the whole website down because when they're saving the current server and moving it to a larger one, we can't have any changes to the database. Otherwise, those changes aren't going to get carried over to the new, larger server. So we are scheduling some maintenance for tonight, probably very early in the morning, maybe 3 a.m. We're expecting the website to be down for at least 2 hours, they tell us. And that's going to allow us to completely take our giant database and move it to a bigger server with much more speed. So that's why we're taking the website down tonight. It'll hopefully be up by tomorrow morning. So make sure you get all your activities in before you go to bed tonight, and then if you're in the time zones that are going to be affected, just bear with us as we go through this maintenance process, and then we'll come up in the morning and you can continue with your approvals and managing your account. So thank you for bearing with us. We're sorry for the downtime. We're going to try to be a little bit more transparent on the stuff we're working on. So expect a few more videos, but this is it for now. So feel free to leave some comments or questions, and we'd love to hear your feedback.